Now your Discord actually just got nuked as well, didn't it?
Correct. I was actually in charge of the Discord server for a good bit of the last year,
Wow.
and we followed their rules pretty strictly.
Yeah.
We even had an announcement that said these are Discord's rules. You're going to follow them, or you're going to get removed. And at one point, Discord had sent us a warning after a Mother Jones article. So Mother Jones put out this article and said, "Hey, look at all this horrible." So, sorry, I need to backtrack just a second. So we had two different tiers of chat. We had open chat, like a lot of Discord servers had,
Right.
and then we had what we called vetted chat. And our open chat, literally anybody could get in and start saying things in. And Mother Jones ran an article one day about these horrible things that were said in open chat. And I went and looked at these things, and they were from a person who literally joined, spouted some really awful things that we caught. And a lot of it was caught by the auto moderator. So they were removed within 1-2 seconds, just like that. And somehow they still got screenshots of these things as if this was the normal conversation. Now, I can't say that it was that reporter who did it.
Well, hey, wait. Let me make a suggestion. It sounds an awful lot like it's the reporter who reported on it.
It definitely seemed like it. And I wrote them on their website. I said, "Hey, these were things that were literally in the channel for less than a minute. These are things from a unvetted user," and they never responded. I had written them, in their comment section on their website, and then also on their Twitter. And they don't give a damn. They got their message out, which is that we were awful people. But if you came in there and you really were participated, I'm not saying that everything was clean all the time, but we did have a very dedicated moderation team that worked very hard to clean things up. And they did a good job. And the people that were there at the very end were still working very hard.
Well, I enjoyed I was in the Donald Discord, and I miss a lot of the emotes that I used a lot of them constantly in my Discord. But let's backtrack a little bit. We kind of jumped ahead to because the Discord just got nuked recently. Granted, it goes hand in hand with all this. You said in 2017 that by 2020 we're going to be off. And man, is that dead on. So you said one of the some of the mod team was worried that you weren't going to get as much traffic because Reddit was so big, and it was good to have a good traffic there. So how did it go when you guys launched the Donald? Did you guys have crazy traffic? I mean, there's a lot. How many members are currently in the Donald.win?
I couldn't give you an exact number, but of actual registered accounts, it's probably going to be in the 400,000 to 500,000 registered accounts. The number of unique visitors every day, depending on the day, depending on the news cycle, et cetera, could be anywhere from 1 to 2, 3, 4 million unique visitors. Wow. So the traffic is pretty crazy.
So I don't know how that compares to Reddit. Obviously, Reddit's been around longer, and it's a huge site. But that sounds pretty good. That sounds like it's good traffic.
Yeah, we had, on Reddit, we had to go by the numbers they gave us, basically. And when we compared those with our own, we definitely had exceeded them numerous times, especially as the election approached and afterwards. The numbers were really good.
So you guys separated from Reddit. You're doing your own thing. You basically got screwed over by bad actors. And it sounds like that's what happened to your Discord also. I mean, Agent Provocateur is just such a, from the old book of ways to hurt your enemies. And it seems almost too easy for the internet for someone to do that. Actually, someone joined my Discord and tried to nuke it also by spamming a bunch of terrible things in my general chat. I actually have it set up also where, there's a higher tier and there's an open general, but I have a good mod team who kind of caught it right away and got rid of the person. I don't think they I don't think they were doing an expose on my small channel. I only had a couple hundred people in there, maybe almost 1,000 people actually at the time. But it's like, I mean, I know the Donald Discord was massive. They're not going to do a news article about my tiny little Discord, but there's people that do that, and it seems awfully too easy to do it, and that's what Reddit did. I mean, that's what people are saying. What happened at the Capitol last week? I don't know. What do you think happened with the Capitol last week? Do you think it was Antifa, Black Lives Matter trying to sabotage everything?
So we had a really good moderator who did a good job.
Okay.
That went out and scouted for these things. So back, if you look back in the Charlottesville days, which I think is 2018, so it's a little ways back.
Yeah.
It was easy to spot the plants back then. They'd show up with brand new MAGA hats that had all the creases still in them. Some of them with the tags. Their flags had all the folds, and if you were close enough, you probably got that new flag smell.
Yeah.
It was very obvious back then. But we had a moderator just recently, before January 6th, who had infiltrated some of their chats, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, other radical left-wing groups, and they were discussing very openly, this is what we need to do to blend in. So we knew that was coming. It was very obvious. And if you visited the site during that time, you saw posts over and over again. Donald Trump is asking us, President Trump is saying, peaceful protest, have our voices heard.
Yep.
Do not get caught up with these people because they are not with us. And even the day of, so Donald Trump gives his speech on one side of downtown DC, and then the Capitol's kind of a little further away, and he ends his speech telling everybody we're going to go down there and peacefully protest and have our voices heard.
Yep.
And within seconds of him starting, of that crowd turning and walking, which the crowd was there to see Trump. Let's be clear. These people crossed the continent. Some people came from out of the country. They came to see Trump. So the people that were there that were Trump fans were in the Trump crowd, period. So the people, and you were probably there watching Trump speak, weren't you?
I waited until he finished. Yep.
You weren't, and it was a bit of a walk to the Capitol, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was. It's not right there. It's a good. If I had to guess, maybe a mile and a half. I don't know. It's not next door neighbor. It's a hike to walk over there, and everyone was walking around.
Absolutely. But if you watch the videos, he stopped speaking, and within minutes or even seconds, you've got people belligerent in front of the Capitol, yelling at the officers, throwing things, grabbing barricades. They're wrestling with them. And these are the people you see very regular in the pictures of these arrests. And sure enough, what have we seen? We've seen quite a few Antifa members arrested. That's not disputable. Well,
it's actually interesting because Trump didn't even finish talking. I believe he finished talking around 12:50, 1 o'clock, if I remember correctly. I wasn't watching my time when I was there, but he finished talking, and then I'm now finding out that it was a half an hour before, so it was like 12:30 when the first clash happened at the Capitol building. And as you said, people came from across the country, people came from different continents to hear him speak. They came to hear him speak. Mm-hmm. They were there to listen to that man. So they were listening to him. And then when he finished, they were like, all right, now that that's done, what should we do? Let's go to the Capitol and peacefully protest like he suggested, because he suggested peacefully protesting. Well, the people that were over there, they clearly didn't care about what Trump had to say, because if you actually liked Trump, you went for his rally and then to back him up outside the Capitol building,
That's absolutely right. I was at Rushmore on July 3rd, and there were tens of thousands of people that drove from all over the country to go see that event. Yeah. And even the day of, so you had to register and win tickets in a lottery. They were free, but you had to register and win the tickets. And we got tickets, my wife, my kids, and we were in the bowl. We were part of those 1,000 people. Cool. But even the day of, we're driving up, and people are offering thousands of dollars so that they could get in and see this event. They were there to see Trump. Wow. They weren't there to see the fireworks. Yeah. You could see the fireworks better from further away, is the truth.
Yeah, true.
we were looking up. It was great. Don't get me wrong. It was a once in a lifetime event. I'm so glad I was there, but we were there to see Trump, as was everybody in that crowd. It was a great crowd, and people waited 9-10 hours sitting in the sun. It was 100 degrees in South Dakota that day with no wind. It was awful, but it was worth every bit of it. And that's what Trump supporters do, though. And that's what they did, I have no doubt, on January 6th, that they went there and they waited patiently for him to speak. And many of them that weren't close enough to hear every single word were happy enough to see him.
Yeah.
None of those people gave a damn about going and yelling at some Capitol Police officer who has nothing to do with the politics of DC.
Right.
No.
Bad actors, man.